But last, but absolutely, certainly, positively not least, we got a trailer for the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima.
Yup.
Ghost of Yotei. It's
Mm-hmm.
Yotei. Yotei. It's pronounced Yotei.
Okay.
See, I keep saying,
Yep.
I said, my first thought, I read a lot of manga, watch a lot of anime. You see an EI, it's A. It's A.
Right.
But because I keep hearing people mispronounce it, I started mispronouncing it. But Ghost of Yotei. And
Yes.
1603, more than 300 years after the events of Ghost of Tsushima, which is very interesting. A new ghost named Atsu sets out on a journey in the lands surrounding Mount Yotei, an area filled with sprawling grasslands, snowy tundras, and unexpected dangers. Ghost of Yotei comes to PS5 in 2025, which is surprising.
Soon.
But then I remembered, oh wait, the original game came out in 2020, so this actually makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, you should play it PS4.
Actually, it's funny that you say that. I have a dog in this race. I'm not playing it personally, but my girlfriend is.
Oh, that's cool.
Play it, and it is a really good game.
It's so good. It looks so pretty.
Gorgeous, also.
Like,
yeah.
I talked about it before. Like, it was before, for me. It was between Red Dead Redemption and Ghost of Tsushima as like the prettiest like open world areas. And for me, it's Red Dead. But granted, I'm currently playing Red Dead. If I replay Ghost of Tsushima, maybe I'll then say Ghost of Tsushima because they're both really pretty.
We're both really enjoying it so far. It's like I said, the game is gorgeous. The soundtrack is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Everything about it is gorgeous. The story is pretty good so far. We're not that far in, but it's also making me want to play
Okami.
Why? I don't know.
But Madoratsu is in Astrobot.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's like they feel similar to me, not because Japanese.
You're cutting out a lot.
I am? That's weird. I have my audio recorded, so I'll send that over to you just in case it caught what I said. Hopefully. But yeah, it reminds me of Okami just from the feel of it rather than the heavy Japanese influence. Yes, they have that thing in common, but the gameplay feels like Okami to me in a way. And I don't know how to explain that to make it make sense, but it's making me crave Okami.
It's very Japanese myth in a lot of ways. So Ghost of Tsushima has some of the best open world navigation ever because
for sure.
They don't make you open up your map if you don't want to because you just swipe on a touchpad and you just follow the wind to your main objective.
Yep.
And their smokestacks lead you to side quests and outpost. Excuse me. Foxes lead you to, I forget what they lead you to because it's been a while since I played it. And then you have animals that lead you to certain things. You have things that lead you to hot springs to get more health. The
birds,
game,
specifically.
Yeah. You got the birds and the foxes and it's you don't ever have to open the map if you don't want to. The game will just show you. You can completely immerse yourself in the game, and it's great.
It really is, and it is free on PS Plus right now.
Yeah,
so
of course. But yeah, so I immediately, the moment they showed the character's face, I was like, that looks like Erika Ishii from Dimension 20. Lo and behold, it is. And people aren't a fan of that. But we'll get to that later.
Not at all. Yeah.
So a little bit after the reveal, Erika Ishii tweeted, "I've dreamed of this my entire life, but I still can't believe I'm part of art like this. I am the Ghost of Yotei." So it was a teaser trailer, so they didn't show too much. They showed a bunch of open world environments, and at the end, a very quick and brief glimpse at combat, showing a bunch of new weapons. So in Ghost of Tsushima, you can only use a single katana, with different stances, but that's it. In this game, you'll be able to dual-wield swords, and you'll be able to wield weapons other than swords. You'll be able to use Kusarigami, which is basically sickle and chain. You have and we saw a flintlock rifle. So yeah, we'll likely also get other weapons like spears, shields, bigger swords because there are bigger swords than katanas. And probably smaller swords we'll get. So I'm excited for that because that was one of my biggest things that I wanted in the next game was different weapons. Because even though samurai are famous for using katana, they also use spears and gigantic swords and not just katanas. So I'm excited to see that. Atsu also wears a shamisen on her back, as opposed to Jin's flute, which
Mm-hmm.
which can be used to change the weather. I don't know if you know that, but
I do.
um, it's very fun addition in that game. Because like if it starts raining, you're like, I want it to be sunny. You just play the flute and the weather changes. You're a god.
Yep.
Um,
Very
but yeah,
Zelda-esque.
we also see wild horses, um, which I wonder if that means you'll be able to catch and tame horses. Because in Ghost of Tsushima, they force you to just use one horse
Yep.
and you name it. But I wonder if in this game you'll be able to actually um, get different horses like in Red Dead Redemption 2. Maybe like sell horses to get money and stuff like that. Because
That'd be
that's
nice.
a big part of Red Dead Redemption. Which there are several games, moments in this game that remind me of like maybe they're pulling in stuff from Red Dead Redemption that could be really fun. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but speaking of animal companions, it looks like we could potentially have a wolf companion. Um,
Ooh.
because there's a moment where like she's look like she's about to fight a wolf, but then the wolf like turns away from her and like runs forward, so it looks like they might be friends. So who knows? Um,
Yay!
a small detail
Friendship.
that was pointed out is that in the shot where she's wiping blood off of her sword, she's wiping it onto a piece of paper and simultaneously crossing off a name,
Ooh.
which is cool.
It's kind of
Like I s-
fire.
like I said, I was fully expecting a 2026 release date, so 2025 was surprising until I realized Ghost of Tsushima came out 2020. Um,
Right?
and that year was stacked because that was the same year that Final Fantasy Remake came out. Last was Part 2 came out,
Mm-hmm.
and Hades came out officially.
Right.
um, I assume it'll probably come out later in the year versus earlier. So maybe like
Probably.
late summer or like
Early
or to mid
fall.
fall.
Yeah.
But maybe they'll surprise me again and release it earlier than that.
I
But
wouldn't be mad at it.
we got a lot more info about this game from the New York Times of all places.
Mm-hmm.
With an interview with the game's directors Nate Fox and Jason Cornell by Zachary Small. So we
Mm.
learned that inspiration for the new game's setting came during 2 research trips into northern Japan, where they visited more than a dozen locations. But it was the image of Mount Yotei reflecting across Lake Toya that inspired all. I'm excited to see what that looks like in the game.
For sure.
Because when I first saw the mountain in the trailer, I thought it was Fuji, and I think like at some point in the interview they say like because it like gives a similar feel to Mount Fuji, they wanted to use it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but what did I live off? I sat there for 2 hours just staring at the mountain. Kano says of the active stratovolcano, which is similar in appearance to Mount Fuji. That see, all I had to do was keep reading, and I would have got there.
Yep.
um,
It happens.
Fox said another highlight was Shiratoko National Park on the northeast tip of Hakodai, which is the main area that the game takes place in. Which
Mm.
he visited to record nature sounds for his audio team. Inside the park, you have to watch a video telling you about the dangers of bears. Being in this incredibly beautiful park with jagged cliffs and water, yet all the time being aware there were dangerous bears was electrifying. We strive to bring that into the video game, that feeling of danger, which makes me think we're gonna have to fight animals. Or
Mm.
maybe, you could run away, but like like you're gonna like
Yeah.
get attacked by bears.
The option
Again,
is there.
like Red Dead Redemption.
Yep.
I feel like they're probably taking a lot of inspiration from that. Um, so I keep losing my train of thought every time I stop reading. I'm like, where did I leave off? Again, if I just kept reading because that was the next thing about the bears, but I just started riffing. But without going into detail, the developer said Ghost of Yotei was a story of underdog vengeance that followed Atsu as she moves through the natural landscape, including sprawling grasslands and snowy tundras. They said players would have greater control over her story than in the previous game. So there were small moments where you can make story decisions in Ghost of Tsushima, usually surrounding the like being an honorable samurai or like a dishonorable ghost. And of course, Sucker Punch is known for being the pioneer in the karma system with Infamous, which involves you can either be a good person or a bad person in those games. You could be a superhero or a supervillain. So maybe they'll be able to like evolve that system in this game and have it be like critical to the story and incorporate more kind of player choice. And in like an evolved version of the karma system, which Red
Right.
Dead Redemption 2 also does that. And we've talked about it before. Like samurai movies were inspired by westerns, and then westerns were inspired by samurai movies, and the inspiration goes round and round, and it's even here with this game, with the cowboy game and the samurai game. So I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this. I'm ready. I want it now.
Real.
Because right now, I saw a trailer for like Life is Strange, and I was like, oh yeah, that comes out at the end of this month. Because I need some new games.
Yeah.
I'm tired of all the games I'm currently playing. Well, I got to finish Astro Bot. I'm not tired of that yet, but I need some new games in my life.